But you had a thought about the coronavirus. So should we have a go at that as a question?
Yeah, I just thought, given that we haven't got the group running in its ordinary format,
yeah,
I was imagining that this might be on people's minds, and I was thinking if we were having a group, this would be kind of the thing that some parents might come in asking. I certainly know that some of my friends and me myself am asking myself this. How do we talk to kids about what's going on? How do we talk to them about why we're staying home?
Yeah.
How do we talk to them about the fact that people are getting sick and the fact that there's a virus going about?
Can I ask you?
Go on.
So can I ask you a couple of questions about that? Just to So, what is it? Do you think the child comes with about behind those questions? What's in the child's mind when they ask that question? And I realize it could be different for different children and different scenarios.
Yeah.
But
I'll probably have to be sort of imagining a child that I know to be able to do something real with that.
Okay.
Well, probably I can imagine maybe a couple of different children. Like one, I could imagine coming with an anxious worry.
Yeah. Okay.
And saying, I haven't, my teacher told me I've got to wash my hands. Does that mean that I'm sick? Or, so they might have a specific question.
Okay.
That the parent gets caught up in trying to answer that specific question.
Let's take that one then at the moment. So if as a parent we think, oh, my child's looking worried and they've asked this question.
They've asked some specific question about my teacher said this or my friend told me that.
So I think from a Lighthouse point of view, from a mentalizing point of view, what we'd say the illuminating beam would be offering a child in that moment would be, gosh, you look worried. But we want to check that. Have I got that right? Are you feeling a bit worried right now? Is this a worry for you, this question? Because I want to make sure I answer it. I want to make sure it seems important to you. And
that's the illuminating beam, isn't it? That's being curious with it.
Yeah.
Because I know myself, I'm already feeling myself drawn to quickly wanting to answer the question. When someone comes to you with a pertinent question, and it's an important question, there's a pull. I know I certainly feel it all the time to quickly have the answer that they want for their question. But what you're saying is this is a moment to take a breath, put the illuminating beam on, be genuinely curious about it.
Yeah.
Making sure you're activating curiosity before you're activating.
Yeah. And the bit of you and me in that situation that would want to answer might be driven by our own anxiety, because we have our own anxieties about this situation, and we might want to reassure ourselves and the child as well. And it's difficult to hold on to our own anxiety or worry or confidence that we know what this is about, because look, we know what the worry is, and we're spending a lot of time with it anyway. But the child may have a different level of the worry, or a different view, or a different amount of information, and we won't catch that if we rush in with our ready answer or what we think,
or a quick guess about what a child might be anxious about.
Yeah. And one of the kind of concerns I have is that there is lots of brilliant advice out there. And if we go looking as parents, and I do this, we kind of look on, oh, look, someone is saying this about how to talk to children. And I kind of try and read that and think that all sounds good. But my worry would be if I just deliver that answer to a child without really knowing where he's coming from and what his worry is, and whether I've helped him feel understood enough, and that I'm acknowledging enough of his worry, he won't take it in anyway. And it might get in the way.
I kind of recognize that as well. You read a blog post or something, you think, oh, that's the perfect way to be a parent. That's a really lovely way of describing it. Yeah. You try and replicate it. Yeah. But because, it's not going to land then, is it?
No, and that might work for that parent, but I don't think it will work for me in that it's going to come out of my mouth sounding like someone else's words, maybe in a different context to a different child. And as right as it looks on paper and as well as it works for me, I still think as a parent, the best thing we can do is try and find our own words specific to our own child. And that's always a struggle, but at least they experience us as trying to communicate and trying to understand. And that's a genuine emotional contact. And in that moment, they'll feel some of the benefit of really being held in mind. Because, you know, one risk with an answer from someone else is that we think, oh, if we say this answer, then it should work. And we might feel, I'm not a good enough parent to reassure my child because it didn't work. Or my child isn't the right kind of child and didn't ask the right kind of question because it should have worked, you know, and it kind of invalidates both parties in the conversation. And actually what you really have is a child, unique, and a mum or dad that's unique, and both of them have a long history, many months and years of being together. Even if it's a 2 or 3 year old, they've had a long history together, and actually, you know, enabling them to stay in communication in a really alive way is what the beam is about and what mentalizing is about. And it's okay if you're struggling, I think, to find the right words or find the right answer. And it's okay to say, look, I don't know if we'll get to all the answers we need right now, but I'm going to carry on thinking about it, or we'll, you know, I'll check in with you again at bedtime and let's see where you are with this worry, and check that you've understood what I've been saying or trying to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see, as with all these things, when you're talking directly to someone, it might make more sense to me than someone watching it. So I'd be curious about.
Yeah. And I think I've been quite muddled in how I've been talking to you in a way, but there's a value, because we could film this again, and I can practice saying it clearly. Huh?
Yeah. Let's make it more perfect.
And then if we do that, people might think, oh, it's probably better to. Well, I'm sure we'll get feedback if and when we post this to the group about whether seeing us muddle through is more helpful than the perfect short answer, which I don't have, by the way.